Welcome to Here Comes the Boom, your go-to for Kentucky basketball recruiting, brought to you by KSR and KSR Plus. I'm your host, Jacob Polacheck. We've got a great show for you today. We're bringing on Kentucky commit Acaden Lewis to talk about his decision. But before we get to that, be sure to subscribe to KSR Plus. We've got a great promo going right now. It's $1 for 7 days, and then you got 50% off for a full year. So be sure to take advantage of that promotion. It won't last long. Let's get into it. Let's talk about some Kentucky basketball recruiting, starting with Samis Calderon. He set his official visit to Kentucky for this upcoming weekend, November 8th and 9th. He just visited Kansas, and I heard that visit went very well. I went ahead and placed a prediction on the On3 recruiting prediction machine that he lands at Kansas, and I'm hearing some buzz that he might not even end up getting on campus at Kentucky this weekend. I'm paying close attention to that. I think that if he does end up on campus, he could end up getting an offer. We'll see. Right now, I'm not expecting him to end up on campus. For some context, he's a 6'8" power forward from Overtime Elite in Atlanta. He's now ranked by On3 as the number 63 overall prospect in the nation for the 2025 class. So he's rising up the ranks a lot. Kansas is the school that I'm hearing a ton with him. He's taken official visits to Auburn, Tennessee, and a few other schools. So, it's up in the air whether he'll visit. I think that if he doesn't end up visiting, it's probably not a bad sign for Kentucky's efforts with five-star forward Caleb Wilson, who could be nearing a decision. We'll get into talking about him later, but Calderon, good player, out of Overtime Elite. We'll see if he ends up visiting. Now let's talk about our good friends over at My Perfect Franchise. Are you a displaced corporate executive or wanting to put your career in your own hands? Or are you an experienced entrepreneur wanting to diversify? Well, Andy Ludicky and MyPerfectFranchise.net can help. Andy is a huge college sports fan and franchise veteran, having owned multiple franchises and businesses. Using his expertise, he helps others find their American dream through a very thorough consultation and evaluation process. Call Andy, put your life and career in your own hands. Best of all, his services are 100% free to you, so what do you have to lose? Find your perfect franchise at MyPerfectFranchise.net. Welcome back. I'm now joined by Kentucky four-star point guard commit Acaden Lewis. Acaden, thank you for joining me today.
For sure. Thank you for having me.
So I want to start off by asking you about this decision you made to commit to Kentucky. Before we get into specifics, you mind talking a little bit about what went into that decision and why Kentucky?
Well, one was just coaches and staff, just making sure I have a good relationship with them, making sure it's someone I think I could be around even if I'm not playing well on the court, because, you have your on the court life, your off the court life. So wanted to make sure it felt right off the court first. And, Pope and his staff did a really good job of just comforting me and always being around, talking to me, really building a relationship outside of basketball, to be honest. So I really appreciated that. And I'm on the court. I feel like the opportunity was there to come in and really start and play a really big role on a really good team next year. They have some guys returning from this team, plus the freshman class we have, and hopefully adding Caleb. It'd be a big team. Like we have a really good shot next year to be really good. So I think it just all came together.
And I know Kentucky was one of the first blue blood schools to get involved in your recruitment late in the spring. How impactful was it for them to get involved early and build that relationship close to the beginning?
It was super cool. Kentucky, even when Cal left and everything, it's still Kentucky. So when Pope, I don't even know if it was Pope or Hart who first texted me. I think it was Hart. I think it was Coach Hart. I think he had texted my coach. And I remember I was just like, this was like when I was kind of blowing up. So everything was just moving super fast. It was kind of like a month. I got like every blue blood. I got like went from like 20 to like 40 offers. So, like a lot was going on. But, that was one of the ones that really stuck out because the brand is so big. It's a team I watch. Like I have YouTube TV. I record all the games. Kentucky was one of the teams I watched a bunch of games of last year. So, it was just really cool. Along with every other school, it was super cool. Like really a blessing.
And then what has been the response from Big Blue Nation since your commitment?
It's been amazing. People in my DMs texting me. I try to respond to everybody in like the requests because, I've had some weird some weird like talks before. But really thankful for all of them reaching out. Even when I was on campus, they knew it was my birthday. A lot of people came up, said happy birthday. Come to Kentucky, BBN. I was just hearing a lot of stuff like that. So, the fan base is crazy, but in a good way. Like they're super, super active. They're just really great, to be honest.
And then talking about this process of committing to Kentucky, I know it was kind of an interesting recruitment where Jasper Johnson committed, and you were a little bit unsure about the role that you would play alongside him, and then you got the chance to play alongside him at the Dame Lillard camp. So what was that experience like, getting to play alongside him for the first time?
I think that was kind of like monumental because beforehand, when he had originally said he was committing, I didn't know if they were still going to recruit me. I didn't know if they wanted 2 guards, 3. I didn't know what they wanted, to be honest. I hadn't asked the question. But I was kind of on the fence about it. Like, do I want to play with him? Do I not? And then, I kind of met him. I got to hang out with him a little bit. We played together. And I really enjoyed it, to be honest. Like, playing with shooters, especially like crafty shooters, helps open the court up. It got me some open shots. It got him some open shots. And I think it just works. It's weird. It's definitely a little like quirky, maybe is the word, but it's weird. It works. So that was big. I think Dame camp was a big reason that I think Pope and them realized it could work, and then me and Jasper.
So for the Kentucky fans out there that haven't seen you play, how would you describe your game, and what kind of duo can fans expect between you and Jasper next season?
I'm interesting. I don't even know how to explain my game. I get this question a lot. I don't really know what to say, to be honest. I think like one thing I normally do is I'm a consistent playmaker, whether it's for me, other people. I'm always making a play happen, whether it's on defense, getting a steal, a nice assist, a oop, a dunk here and there, surprise some people. But I would just say I'm a playmaker. I make stuff happen. I get people at their seats. I'm exciting to watch.
And you talked a little bit about some players you're maybe excited to play with next year. Looking at this current roster, are there any players in particular that have stood out to you? I know you got to watch a couple practices. Any players that you think maybe you'll have the chance to play alongside next year?
Brandon Garrison, and then Otego Away. What's crazy is Otego Away was actually one of my favorite players when he was in high school, when he was with that final team. Because every tournament we were at, for some reason, they were there. So, I watched that final team. I even got to see when Amani Bates came that one time, and it was just crazy. So definitely him. He has a great motor. Otego does. He's just a player that you want to play with, not someone you want to play against. And then Brandon Garrison, he could pass. It surprised me. That was one of the things I really liked about Kentucky. Like, all the bigs can really pass the ball. Super smart, like intelligent big man. And you could tell Pope really recruits that and tries to teach that. But yeah, those two specifically I really want to play with. Colin Chandler, he actually he reached out to me, said something to me when I committed. So, like the whole team, everybody come back. I'm just ready to play.
And then earlier in this conversation, you talked about a guy that Big Blue Nation is all focused on now that you're committed, Caleb Wilson. What have your conversations been like with Caleb since you committed?
They've been the same, to be honest. I really haven't done too much like recruiting, to be honest. I'm just cool with him. Like, we're just friends at this point. So like, if he wants to come, he will. I'm not much of the pressuring dude, but he's always welcome. He knows that. But most of the time we're just talking about random stuff, just FaceTime each other, just chill.
And I don't want to put you on the spot here, but if you had to make your pitch to Caleb or any other potential recruit, what is your sell for Kentucky?
Well, for Caleb, it would be just playing with me. He's been talking about that since I met him. The first thing he actually said to me is, "I'm a fan of your game. I watched all your games this year," which was cool because this dude's a projected lottery pick. So that was his first thing. So for Caleb, I just say like, "Come hoop with me. I'd be your point guard." But for anyone else, like, I don't really know if there's anyone else really in the class that like I think we're really going after at this point. I think it's kind of just him and maybe Chris. But I know Chris has other visits and stuff to do. I know Chris is coming a little later, so. I would just say that to Caleb.
Now I want to take a few questions from the KS board. Some fans over there wanted to ask about your game, and one person asked about your vision on skip passes. Where did that come from, and just where's your mindset as far as making skip passes?
Surprisingly, I don't have very good vision. Like, I can't really see. I wear glasses. So it's like a weird concept. I learned how to like kind of count defenders and count where they are. So usually I don't even really, I know, but I don't, it's like a field thing. I don't really know where they are in the corners and stuff like that, but I'll read that their defender is somewhere. So most of it's just quick decisions. I'll see the help man dropped or he didn't drop, and then I'll see passes. So with those long passes, I think in workouts, I do a lot of 2-on-1 stuff, whether it's splitting traps or going against 3 people at once and just stuff like that. And it's kind of extreme in a workout. You'd expect like most high school dudes not to do it, but I think it creates a level of poise that really gets shown off in games. Because when you throw 2 at me, it's kind of like I usually make you look a little stupid when you do that because I'm used to it.
And then fans also want to know: do you have any game day superstitions?
Do I? I don't think so. I just don't get haircuts on game days or workout. I don't work out I don't do anything basketball wise on days I get haircuts. That's like my only superstition.
And then a couple more basketball questions. Is there a former guard or a former Kentucky guard that you see that most resembles your game?
Even now, Shea is one of my favorite players. So I would probably throw Shea in there. De'Aaron Fox is a lot faster than I am, but I think the lefty thing is just, all lefties play somewhat similar, But I'd probably throw Shea 1, and then we could throw in De'Aaron 2. And then John Wall is one of my favorite players. I don't play like him much, but, just throw it out there.
And then talking about favorite players, White Chocolate, Jason Williams, you said that's your favorite player. How did he become your favorite player, and what do you like most about his game?
Okay, I wouldn't call him my favorite. I'd say my favorite is Jamal Crawford or Brandon Jennings. Those would be like my 2 favorites for sure. But White Chocolate, that was actually probably last year. It was my first time I ever seeing him. And just the way he played, it's just entertaining. Like I kind of try to take some stuff from him, some street ball moves and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, this is a game. People are paying to come watch you. So being entertaining is a skill. Like everybody can't do it. And I'm blessed with the ability to do certain stuff that others can't. So, I take some stuff from him if I can. And hopefully next year you'll see me trying some stuff on the court.
And then lastly, I just want to ask about what do you want to let Big Blue Nation know about you?
Somewhat of a nerd when it comes to video games. I don't really have any fun facts, but, like Elden Ring is my favorite video game. Like Elden Ring, Sekiro, stuff like that. So I'm a little nerdy on the video game side. It's like a fun fact, but I don't got much else.
Awesome, Acaden. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We're excited to watch you play at Kentucky next season.
For sure. Appreciate you.
My final thought today is Caleb Wilson. Things have kind of gone quiet around his recruitment. I still feel very good about where Kentucky stands. He was originally supposed to visit Arkansas last week. That visit got postponed. Talking with sources close to Caleb, it sounds like he's still going to take that Arkansas visit, but I know Kentucky is pushing hard for commitment. The early signing period is coming up, so keep an eye out for Caleb to see if he does make a decision and signs in the fall, or if he winds up waiting towards the spring. Either way, I like where Kentucky stands, and now that Acaden Lewis is committed, he's going to be in his ear trying to get him to commit. So thank you for joining us today. Be sure to go and subscribe to KSR Plus, and we'll see you again soon.